Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic and a puzzle by Ollie Marr, and that always makes me smile because I really enjoy Ollie Marr's style and standard. This one actually was sent in as a tribute to Simon's car troubles, where he had to get his car to the garage, and this is called Parking at the Garage. Now that was that wasn't even the latest of Simon's tribulations, of course, because he's had computer trouble since then. Yeah, my sympathy goes out. But Ollie's sympathy, Ollie Marr's sympathy, has revealed itself in the form of a puzzle, and I'll be taking that on in a minute. Don't forget that on Patreon we've got Sudoku hunts and crosswords and connections and gridograms, all sorts of extra videos and content. We'd love you to join us there. It's a great puzzle club. It's also great fun to try our apps. They're on links under the video as well. They feature line Sudoku, and they feature all sorts of brilliant varieties of Sudoku. The latest, though, is Classic Sudoku 2 with some incredible puzzles by Sam Cappleman-Lynes and Nikoli. And it's great fun. And there's the worms as well. So loads of things you can engage with. SVEN'S SUDOKU PAD's linked under the video too. But the first link is to this puzzle, and I'm going to go through the rules now. The reason it is called Parking, with the emphasis on king at the garage, is the same reason I'm fishing around in my bag at the moment to find Mr. King, who will be reminding me that as well as normal Sudoku rules applying, 1 to 9 must go in every row, column, and 3 by 3 box. In this puzzle, there is a king's move restriction. Digits are king's move apart, i.e. one cell apart in the grid, even diagonally, must be different. Adjacent digits on a green line, it's a German whisper, adjacent digits must differ by at least 5. Box borders divide blue lines into segments with the same sum, so those 3 will add up to the same as those 2 and those 2. Each of the digits in a circle appears at least once in the 4 cells touching the circle. So 5, 6, and 7 must all be in that group of cells. 1, 2, and 3 must all appear somewhere here. And those are the rules. Very simple. Nice picture of a car up on, jacked up. Or maybe it's probably on the inspection platform, isn't it? Oh, it just brings back horrible memories. Anyway, give it a try. I am going to start now. Let's get cracking. So, most of this car is a long German whispers line. Right, hang on. First of all, I'm going to mark this cell as 6, 7, 8, or 9, because it's the sum of these 3. They all have to be different. I was going to say the minimum they can be is 1, 2, 3. I don't think this quadruple has changed that. Not sure, but I don't think it has. But I'm going to tell you the 3 things that are useful to know about German whisper lines. One is 5 cannot appear on a German whisper line at all, ever, anywhere, because it can't have a neighbour that is a Sudoku digit. The lines therefore alternate between digits higher than 5 and lower than 5, and we can mark up that alternation if we are careful, and I'd sometimes... I've clearly got it wrong there. Yes, I have. That's better. All of these cells are one polarity, by which I mean either high or low, and all of these cells are the other, based on that alternation. Now, the third thing I was going to tell you is that 4s and 6s are sometimes a little difficult to place because they can't go anywhere where there's 2 neighbours that see each other. Let's try this cell. If that was a 4, both of these would be 9s, and Sudoku rules forbid that. So, what do we learn from this colouring? We learn that we've got all 4 purples in this box, all 4 greens in this box. Okay, let's find the places. This central box seems to be... I don't know. I was going to say there are lots of places where you can't put 4s and 6s, but actually I think it's only those ones. How about this row for places where you can put 4s and 6s? No, I don't think that's all that good. Even this, yeah, no, that cell you can't because of those 2. So none of these and not that. But it still leaves 4 places. We've got all 4 purples in this row. Oh, this is 1 high and 1 low above this one, on this 1, 2, 3 quadruple. These must both be low from 1, 2, 3, because you can't put them both into these cells. Okay, great. Does that have to be high? Not if 5, 6, 7 went here. This could be low, I think. Got all 4 greens in this row. Now, which of those are? Which of these can be 4 or 6? Not that one because of those 2 cells. Not that one because of those 2. So one of these 2 is the 4 or 6 in this row, and that always has to sit next to the 1 or the 9. So this digit is an extreme digit, a 1 or a 9. I don't know if that's going to carry us forward. And I don't know whether the 4 or 6 goes in this cell or this cell. If it went there, this would be another case of that extreme digit. This doesn't look like a very helpful blue line, and even this one doesn't, with 2 cell segments in both boxes. So I'm not really spending time considering them. I've got Mr. King talking about the King's move thing. Oh, that is interesting from the point of view that these 3 cells, for instance, all have to be different. And that means this digit has to be, if it was low, either a 1 or 2. If it was high, either an 8 or 9, because it's got 3 different digits of the other polarity that it can touch. That's true here as well. These 3 now all have to be different because of the King's move constraint. That's an interesting point. Ah. Yeah, this digit cannot contain 4 or 6, can it? That's the point. Because this would be extreme as well, and you'd have 2 of the same extremes touching. So in the row, in the green, that is the monogamous digit, the 4 or the 6. This is now 1 or 9. Oh, these 2 are a pair in their green colour. That's either 1, 2 or 8, 9. So this one must be 3 or 7. That can touch 1, 9 on one side, and it's going to have to touch 2 or 8 on the other if it can't touch 1 or 9. This digit must be 3 or 7, because 4 or 6 can't sit there. And we're filling up this box very neatly, and the digits we have left are the purple 4 or 6 and Mr. Uncoloured 5. Right, this digit sees a 1, 9 and a 3, 7. That's either 2, 8 or 4, 6 in a purple. Yeah, this King's move thing's got interesting effects. Neither of these can be the 1, 9 digit in this row because they both touch that. This can't be the green 3, 7. Can it? No, it can't, because those would have to be the purple 1, 2 or 8, 9, and that would crash this cell. So that's not the green 3, 7 in this row, and that is. So now this is from 1, 2, 8 or 9. Now, that's in an interesting position perhaps vis-a-vis the 1, 2, 3 quadruple. No, I don't know, maybe it's not. Oh, it can't be 1, 9 because of the touchy thing. So that is 2 or 8. Now, if that was 2, the 2 on the quadruple would be here. What about this digit? It's touching 3, 7 and 4, 6 in green. So that 2 is either 1, 2, 8 or 9. This digit is touching the 1, 9 in pink, and it sees the 2, 8. Ah, so this is 3, 7, 4 or 6. That's really interesting. If this is low, it has to be 3, and that's a 2-1 pair. But if this is low, 3's down here. Now, these two, one of them is the 1-9 digit, and the other one is more middly than that. Oh, there are 4 digits over here, and one of them is a 1-9 in purple. So that's got to be here now because it sees those two. Right, so these two, that one can't be 3-7 because of the king's move. So the 3-7 is over here. And that means this is a pair of extremer digits, either 1, 2 or 8, 9. This one is also from that family. And those two have to be different. Oh, this is getting weirder by the moment. This digit can't be 3 or 7 because of that. Oh, this digit can't be 3 or 7 because of that. So the place for purple 3-7 in this row is definitely here. So one of these is 4-6 and one of them is 1 or 9. I might have placeholdered rather than embarking on this full marking up strategy if I'd figured it out. Now, one of those is a 4-6. So this one, by the king's move, either side, this can't be the 4-6. And this must be the 4-6. That must be touching the 1-9. That leaves this to be the 2-8. That leaves this to be the 1-9. That leaves this to be the 2-8. And we're absolute, as soon as we discover which is high and which is low, I'm going to fill in about 20 numbers now, which is weird, really. Now, in this box, we've had 1, 9, 2, 8 in both colours. I might have still missed further king's move implications. That's a 3-7 pair, so this digit's not 3. That's not quite as powerful as I thought it might be for a second. The 2-8 is touching that cell, so that's 1 or 9. This now must be 2 or 8. And now there's no 1 in those cells, so there must be a 1 in one of these two. It doesn't look very helpful. I mean, we really are going to break into this hard in a moment, I feel. Although that moment might be further delayed than I expect. Let's have a look at this row. We've had the 3-7 pair, the 2-8 pair, and the 1-9 pair. This digit is from 4, 5, or 6. In this row, we've had both 3-7s and 1-9s. No, I don't know what to do with that. Oh, it's quite amusing to look at the 5 difference between those cells. It's either 2 low there and 7 high here, an exact difference of 5, or 3 low here and 8 high here, an exact difference of 5. That 2-8 pair precludes 2 from this cell. Now 2's definitely in one of those. I feel like I'm just missing some big implication here that resolves everything quite quickly. This digit sees the 2-8 pair. It effectively sees the 1-9 pair because the purple 1-9 must be in one of those cells. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7. I mean, this might be a fatuous exercise, but I'm going to mark up possible... I don't want to do it here, actually. Maybe I can just play Sudoku with these sort of green 1-9 counters or something. I don't know. I don't think that works. Right, there's no 2 on this line. That's quite interesting, because now the absolute minimum content of this line is 1, 3, 4. And in fact, the only other alternative is 1, 3, 5. So it's adding up to 8 or 9. And it's definitely got a 1 and a 3 on that line. So I'm extracting 3 from this cell. And these are from 1, 3, 4, or 5. This is high. I mean, I do want to get to orange and blue at some point. I could have marked that, I could have coloured that an awful long time ago. If that was 9, this digit has to be 9. If it was 8, things are not so clear cut. I haven't really looked at this 5, 6, 7 triple at all. It just hasn't appealed to me as very useful. Maybe I've been missing something. If these were both from 5, 6, 7, that would be 6. And this would obviously be 5 or 7. That would be 1. 9, 7, 8, 2. That would come down to 5 or 4 if this was 6. If it's not 6, this is a 5, 6, 7 triple. I don't think that's going to help me. No, this digit can't be 3 or 7 because it sees them both, and 1, 9 and 2, 8 have both been used up in the box. So green 3, 7 is somewhere up here, which we knew anyway. Purple 3, 7 is somewhere up here. This is classic Olimar. I'm one deduction away from really homing in on the puzzle and getting almost all of it done. So help me find that deduction. 1, 3, 4 or 1, 3, 5 on this wheel of the car. Or is that actually this elevating thing that 1, 3, 4? I just can't believe equating that line and that line is going to be very helpful. Because this can be quite low and this can be quite high. Maybe. No, I expect it's King's Move. King's Move is the more likely thing. Like, you can actually ask, where does that go in the box below? And it's now got to be in one of those 2 cells, which is a surprisingly specific issue. Or where does that go in this box? And those are all ruled out. I don't know. Where does green 4, 6 go in this row? Either there or there. I don't know what it does. These are from 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So is that. I'd love it if that had to be the green one, had to be a 1 or something to make this work, but I just don't think that's the case. So one of these 3 cells has to be a 1. If it's in one of those 2, that's forced to be a 2. That becomes 8. No. No, well it does, because that is forced to be the 3 on the quadruple. Then you get 8, 2, 7, 1. So if the 1 is in one of these cells, that becomes a 1. So it's never here. If the 1 is in one of these cells, it's here. I don't think this cell can ever be a 1. That's the point. That would be 2. That would be 8. Let me check this. If this was a 1, you've got 2 here. That has to be 3. So purple is low, and that has to be 1 clashing with 1. That's it. That is the breakthrough. I found it. It's one of the wheel nuts. They're always the most tricky things to do. So that becomes a 3. And now honestly, I think this whole thing is going to go absolutely supersonic. Now, the 3 there, because one of these has to be high for the whisper, this digit becomes a 7, because we've got to get the 1 around the quadruple. That's there. Then we've got to get the 2, and there we go. Now we know that green is low. So we're going to turn green into blue. We're going to turn pink into orange. And now we can fill in all of the cells with the 2 candidates in the colors. 7, 8. Let's do the high ones first. 8, 9, 7, 6, 9, 8, 7, and remove 1, 4 from those 2. And I don't know that. Now we can do the low ones. 3, 4, 3, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, and this can't be a 1 anymore. Let's do some real Sudoku now. This must be a 1 on the old blue line. These 2 can't be 4. This can't be 4. In this row, we're trying to place 3, 4, and 5. Oh, we've got the king's move. I mustn't forget that. Thank you, Mr. King. Those aren't both eliminated from the 5, 6, 7 triple, unfortunately. Right, now we've got a 4, 5 pair here that I didn't expect. Everything else in the box is from 6, 7, 9. So what do these add up to? Somewhere between 10 and 14. And we can't put a 1 here. There's a blue 1 in one of those cells. I don't quite know what to do yet. 3, 4, 5. We need a 7 somewhere along here. I'm trying to compare that with those, but I don't think that it's constrained enough to really do it for me yet. This one has been... Only 6 has to be removed from that. The king's move or something, is that happening around here? No. 2, 7, 1. Right, we've got a 7 and a 1 up here. 2 is in one of these 2 cells. Maybe we're going to have to try this other wheel arch and see if we can figure out something there. 7 is in one of these 2 cells on the wheel arch. So that can't be 7. So now there are 4 possibilities for this sum. 10, 11, 13, 14. I'm going to rule 8 out of here because if that was 8, we're up to 13 at least, and we can't have a 1. We'd be up to an absolute minimum 16 or something. So that's not 8. Now 8 in row 5 has to go here. Don't know why I would still be colouring it, but there we go. This is 2, 4, or 5. Now, if that was 7, I think there's a problem. The absolute minimum for this group is 14 then, made up of 7, 2, 5. But the maximum for this is 14, made up of 5, 9. So you'd have 2 5s in the column. Yeah, so that can't be 7. So this is a 1, 7 pair. This is 4, 5, or 6. And now, one of these 2 is definitely a 6, because that's the only place it can go in the box. 6, 5, 4 is 15. That's the maximum sum. That's actually too much. Ah, so we must use 2. Because 15 is too much for the sum of these 2. We must use 2 there. Now we're going to add to either, well, we're using the 6, so we're going to add to either 12 or 13. 13 is possible here, but actually 12 isn't. So this is 9, 4. 13, this is 2, 5, 6. So I'm taking 4 out of there, putting it in here instead, and now we're rocking again. That's a 5. This line adds up to 9. I'm going to remove all the colour now. I just don't think there's any point continuing with the colour. Oh, well, that wasn't what I was planning to do. Control A. I did Alt A instead. I don't know what that did. Right. This is 6 or 7. So is that. Now we got that 9. That makes this a 6. That makes this a 9. Now these have to be 5, 6, 7. That's 5, 7, 6. We can just fill them in. This is a 3. We've got the king's move still. He's still here reminding me. So we get a 5 there and a 6 here. That sorts out 5 and 6. 3, 6, 1, 9. We can place 5 in this box and then 8. And then we've got a 2, 4 pair. I'm going to look at this line in a moment. 5, 9, 1, 7, 6. That digit's the same as that. These are from 2, 3, 4, 8. Okay, so 8 plus 2 or 4 is 10 or 12. We can't make 12 this side, so we're going to have to make 10 on the line. There we go. That's now 2. That's 4. That's 8. And we've got almost all of the bottom 6 rows of the puzzle done. Very nearly all of it. This pair, hang on. I was going to say, how are we ever going to sort these out? Because of the king's move. Otherwise, those 2 rows would be interchangeable in the final grid. Anyway, we've got 13 on this line. We can't do it with 9, 4, because neither digit could go here. So it's we can't do it with 8, 5, because that 5's touching both, including the king's move. So this has to be 7, 6. Then we use the king's move to fix 7, 1. And we can now do 4, 5 over here. So now we've got all the bottom 6 rows done. That's a 1, 3, 4 triple. This is a 2, 9 pair. That's a 3, 8 pair. That can't be 1. This is 2, 5, 8, but we've got an 8 looking at that cell. This is 1, 6, 7. Aha, we have a 7, 6, both looking at that. This is 3, 4, 9. This one on the king's move can't be 9. This is 1, 2, 3. And on the king's move, 1 sees that and 2 sees that. So that's a 3. This is 5, 7, 8. Can't reduce any of those. This is 4, 6, 9. I can take 4 out of the bottom cell. Now what's going on in this row? The 3, Jungo. Something went wrong there. Because this 3, 4 pair looks impossible now. Right. Hopefully that's a failure to mark up correctly. So let's go all the way back. To here. I don't know. I'm a bit scared about this. Let's do it a different way. Where does 8 go in this row? Not there. Not there, bearing in mind the king's move. Not there and not there. So 8 goes here. Then I saw some other digit that was very constrained out of all of the positions, didn't I? 2 and 5. That's 4 or 5. Did I mark these up wrong? I don't know. I mean, I'm just trying the same thing again and hoping it goes right this time. Let's just do the cell. This is a naked 1, just by Sudoku. Didn't need any king's move on that. That's 3 or 4. That is now got to be a 3. And I think Oh, maybe I'm not in trouble because I think I marked this one up wrong before. Maybe all of those three. Please be the case. Right, this is going a bit better now. And we don't really need to mark them all up. This can't be 5, so that's 8. And that's going to sort out one of those pairs. We can place 3 in box 2 because of this king's move. And then we can place 9, and that sorts out another of these pairs. We can place what here? Well, 5 there gives us 5, 7. 7 there gives us 7, 6. 6 there gives us 6, 4. I must have made a mistake marking up, and I think it was in those 3 cells. Right, 1 here and 2 here, and I think this works. Let's see if it confirms that we have achieved parking at the garage we have. Okay, well, that's brilliant. Great stuff from Ollie Marr. Just all good fun all round. Thank you so much for watching us play Sudoku on the puzzle. Apologies for my little errors. They creep in, and then I try and fix them. That's the way the cookie crumbles. And a big shout out to my garage round the corner, who I expected to have to replace a whole tyre on my car, and they managed to fix it for a tenner somehow, and it's been fine since then. Touch wood. See you soon. Bye for now.